Again, standard blurb. This is a test of your instructional ability. You'll have exchanged pleasantries and stuff in the waiting room. You'll have signed the box, so you'll have seen the one that you've elected today. For of course, it's PST10. You'll see PST10 underneath it, so you'll know you're going to get a range of things. It's two, and you know, and anticipation always seems to rear its head.
Yeah.
So you'll start by saying this is a test of your instructional ability. I'd like you to instruct me on meeting other traffic, allowing adequate clearance, and that would be past parked cars, but also following behind other vehicles, and anticipation. I'm at the partly trained stage, and my last instructor is unable to make it today. He has some appointment that he has to go to, or I can't remember exactly what it was. My name is Bob. Have a couple of minutes to collect your thoughts, and whenever you're ready, we'll begin.
Okay, morning Bob.
Morning.
I'm Andy, I'm
Andy.
your instructor for today.
Good morning, good morning.
Right, I've been asked to look after you today because your regular instructor's not available. And he wants me to cover area of the lesson, which is meeting adequate clearance and anticipation.
All right.
When you're driving. If you can just give me a bit of background. So, what have you done so far? Have you done anything at all like this?
Well, I've done all my basic junctions, but it's always been like on quiet roads.
Okay. And in that time, have you come across other traffic? Have you met other traffic?
A little bit, but not a lot.
Okay. So we're going to look at that. Now, outside of your with the times you have with the instructor, have you got a car available to you? Have you had any additional practice?
No, it's just
with the instructor. Okay. So just to give you a little bit of background. So as we drive around, as you've already seen, we are going to meet other vehicles.
Yeah.
And what I'm going to help you with today is understanding what we need to do when we're met in that situation, how to deal with it, how to react to it, how we plan for it. Okay. So, as with everything we do in the driving, there's a basic routine that we'll use, and that's the mirror signal manoeuvre.
Oh yeah, I've used that before.
Yeah. Yep. Just tell me about why we use that.
Well, so you're making sure it's safe to do what you're going to do, and then you're kind of letting other people know what you're going to do.
Okay. Yep.
And then do it.
What order do we do this in?
It's mirror, signal, then the manoeuvre.
Okay. And which mirror would you check? So, for example, if we're going to turn right, which mirror would you check?
That one and that one.
Yeah. In what order?
That one first.
Yeah, that one. And what about signal? When would you apply a signal?
It depends, I suppose. It's early enough so people can see what you're doing, but not so early that you're confusing.
Okay.
It depends on what's around really. Like there might be another turning close by or a car park, that kind of stuff.
Okay. Would you use a signal every time?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll cover that. So when we get more into it, there are occasions where you may not need to use a signal.
All right.
But initially, it's good practice just to get used to putting the signal on as part of your routine.
All right.
So when we get into a bit more detail, we can cover that.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So, just so I've got a better understanding, what's your understanding of meeting another vehicle? Where might we meet another vehicle?
Well, I suppose. Well, anywhere really. When there comes some vehicle coming the other way.
Yeah. And what else we've got?
Junctions and stuff.
Yeah. And is that all set?
Go on.
So at this point, obviously I can introduce this, can't I? As a, yeah. Excuse me.
Back and roll.
So you're quite right with junctions, and if you look at this visual, we can have a scenario where we have parked cars that we've got to negotiate.
All right.
So you're actually meeting them as you're coming up to the back of them.
Right.
Okay. So when we get into this scenario, we've got to look at a number of things. Obviously, you've got to go through your safety routine, your hazard drill. So we're checking what's behind us. So we'll use this as an example.
Okay.
Okay. So we've got some parked cars on our in front of us. So if we're driving up a road here, we've got these cars parked. So we need to think about overtaking them, getting past them, but we are going to meet them at some point. So the first way I'm going to show you is there's no car coming towards you, okay, from the opposite direction.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so we check our mirror, just make sure it's safe to carry out a manoeuvre. We consider a signal,
All right.
okay, and then we'll look at changing our position. So from our normal road position, because we've got cars parked here, we need to get past them. Okay, so we're going to look at coming out towards the white lines or the crown of the road before we get to the vehicles. Okay. On the approach to the vehicles, when you're about car and a half lengths away, we do another check, and you're looking well down past the vehicles. Okay. Why do you think we need to do that?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, there may be something coming towards us. Maybe something starting to come this way.
See what you're saying.
Okay. So we need to be prepared for that. And by checking there, you'd be looking all the time, but specifically you've really got to check before you start coming out any further to do an overtake past the vehicle.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're looking for potential hazards coming towards us. And in this scenario, we've got parked cars. Okay. So there is a potential there could be people in the cars, and they may be getting out. So what have we got to look for?
The doors opening, maybe?
Yeah. And if we're passing the vehicle, what sort of gap do you think we might need to leave?
That'd be alright.
Okay. Well, let's just use this as an example. We're in the car park here. If someone was to get into the car next to us and open his door, would it hit the car?
Well, it would, yeah.
It would. So we've got to consider that in this instance, driver, he may not have done his checks, as we would do,
Alright.
throws his door open, so you need to give adequate space. Okay? And that way you're not going to run into his door. Okay. So it's important
Excuse me.
it's important we consider that for our positioning. Okay.
So would I go like right across here?
Well, in this scenario, because there's nothing on the other side of the road, you may be able to head towards the centre of the other lane.
Right.
But obviously in this scenario, there's no other vehicles parked.
Right.
We could be in a situation where we've actually got a car parked over here.
Alright.
Okay. So what we need to do then is take a course between the two vehicles, driving with extreme caution and being aware and looking at what may be happening. So as we come up to the vehicles, we can look for clues. So as we approach the vehicle, we may be able to see somebody inside it. Okay.
Right.
We may be able to just notice the door beginning to open, in which case you drive at a nice slow speed. If you've got a narrow gap, so if needs be you can stop. Because if he does throw his door open, you need to be able to stop.
Oh, okay.
There will be occasions where you haven't got an option but to go through two cars. Okay, but where it's safe to do so and you've got the space to do so, pass with adequate clearance so that if a door did open, you're not going to rip it off its hinges.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Other things to consider when we're passing parked vehicles, especially in either residential areas or there could be shops down this side, there's going to be pedestrians. So, what's the possibility? What happens with pedestrians? They don't always stay on the pavement. If there's some shops on this side, what do we think might happen?
Yeah, they might cross the road, I suppose.
Across the road. So, potentially, they're going to take the shortest route. So, in this example here, we've got a pedestrian heading out. So, we need to be really vigilant as we're passing the vehicles. Now, just that roll.
Go on then.
Am I putting too much detail into this?
No, yeah, it's along the right lines, but so we've talked about the car doors opening and the thing there, so we need to anticipate these things. So you might want to think about telling me, how am I going to do that? Where am I going to look for pedestrians? Where am I going to look for these things?
Right, so that's really what I should be picking up within here, isn't it?
So the meat situation and anticipation are really quite closely linked, aren't they?
Yeah.
And just and I said, the meat situation is where we come into conflict with other vehicles. It's generally when there's parked vehicles on our side of the road or their side of the road.
Yeah.
Or both. So we're going to come into wanting to use the same piece of road potentially as other vehicles. So what are we going to do there? And then anticipation is linked really quite closely to that, isn't it?
Yeah.
So get some rewind.
Okay.
Back and roll.
Okay, so we're going to look at how we're going to negotiate this particular hazard as shown on the visuals, where we've got some parked cars. Okay, so I'll just take that out for a minute. So, from our normal driving position, we've got to get past these three vehicles.
Right.
So at some point we're going to have to come across the white line onto the opposite side of the road.
All right.
So immediately we're in a danger zone because we're on the wrong side of the road.
All right.
So potentially there could be a number of things. We could have pedestrians on the opposing curb and potentially vehicles coming towards us.
Right. Right.
So observation is key, and this leads into what we call anticipation.
All right.
Now, just tell me what your thoughts are on anticipation. What's your understanding of the word anticipation?
Not really sure.
Okay, well, anticipation it's sort of preempting or second guessing what people are going to do next.
Oh, I see.
So, for example, if there was a car coming towards us here, we would expect that he's going to come through. So we anticipate and plan for that event.
Oh.
So, ideally, we'd be anticipating if, for example, the car is here, heading this way, we would anticipate, and this will come with practice, we'll be able to judge our speed so that we would start slowing down, hopefully as he's coming this way, anticipate what's happening so we can get round the hazard.
All right.
So we're looking ahead.
Right. Okay.
Okay, so that's why we do our mirror signal manoeuvre routine.
Right.
So not only are we looking behind, we're also starting to look ahead of us. So straight away from this point where you've picked up the hazard and you introduce
Right.
your hazard drill, you're on the alert. So not only are you looking behind, we're looking in front of us. So we're looking to potential hazards over this way, and we're looking at what's going to happen with the cars, and potential hazards that may be on this pavement or curbside.
Right.
So
Right.
have we got a pedestrian, cyclists? What are they doing? So we could anticipate if there's a pedestrian stood right on the edge of the curb, what is the possibility? What could we anticipate is going to happen?
All right. Right. Yeah, I suppose they maybe might step out.
Yeah. So we've got to take that into account
Right.
and plan for it.
Okay.
Okay. So we're looking for potential hazards. So we need to set our vision high on the approach, looking at potential dangers. So on the approach to the hazard, we've done our hazard drill, and now we're going to take a course towards the centre of the road.
Okay.
We do that, obviously we've checked that there's nothing coming the other way that may be close to the centre of the road, because we don't want to get too close that potentially we're going to impact.
All right.
So
yeah.
that will have a bearing on how far out you come out, but you will want to come out towards the centre of the road. Okay, that will give you better visibility down here as to what's happening. Okay, and it sets you up ready to overtake the hazard.
Right.
Okay,
Okay.
as we get closer, we're always looking ahead. So again, we're looking up here, and we're looking down both pavements, anticipating what may happen if we've got pedestrians and what may be happening within the cars.
Right. Right.
There's potential for the car doors to open. So what do you think the consequence of that could be for us?
I suppose we might hit it.
Okay, so what would we do to avoid it? How can we stop hitting it?
Brake.
You could brake, but if it's clear and and the road is wide enough to get past the parked vehicles,
All right.
what we're going to do?
Oh,
Okay,
that's
I'll
good.
use this car at the side of us as an example.
All right.
So if he was to open his car door, would it hit our car?
Yeah.
Very good chance, isn't there? So
So I need to be wider than this.
wider than that, so that'll
Right,
keep us clear.
right.
That's
Oh,
good.
okay.
Excellent. We need a nice clear thing, because as well they could step out, so we're keeping plenty of clearance for them.
Okay.
Other things to watch out, as shown in this diagram, we've got a vehicle with indicators showing.
All right.
So you're potentially not going to see it from here or here, but certainly once you get out across the road, you may have visibility of these indicators.
All right.
So what would you expect? What could you anticipate may happen?
You might pull away.
Okay, so we're watching for that. All the time we're thinking safety. He's giving you a signal as to something that may happen, so we've got to anticipate his movements. So again, when you see that, be a quick mirror check. Just make sure everything's safe behind, because if you need to stop, why is it important to know what's happening in the back?
I don't want people running in the back either.
That's it. That's it.
They might be driving too close.
That's it, absolutely. So we anticipate for that, and all the time checking around us, looking for potentials coming towards us. Okay. Start a roll.
Okay.
How was that?
How did it feel?
It seemed to make sense.
It's flowing better.
Yeah.
Are there issues? Not issues. Are there aspects that we haven't covered?
Well, I hadn't covered if we've got a car parked on this side again,
What
where
if
it's going to
we
really
can't
narrow.
leave?
Yeah. So, but it was just to see whether I've sort of got that bit.
Well, it seems to be a little bit more logical, and I think this is something. Before we meet again next week, we can be sort of looking at your briefings and get them slick, so you've got all the information covered in a logical way, something that makes sense. Now, you used a phrase at the start of that: "Get your vision high." You might go, "What do you mean?" Because he might not have heard that before. Well, that's an advanced term, isn't it? Get your vision high. He may not be familiar with that. That gives him the opportunity to go, what? Wait, what? What did you say? What does that mean?
Rather than that, I to sort of say
simplify it.
Effective observation, where not only you're looking sort of in front here, you're looking way into the distance as well.
I think it's to anticipate, of course, we need to be looking a lot further up the road.
Yeah.
The further up the road you can look, the better it is. And then you've got it covered. And that is basically get your vision on high.
Yeah. So, no, that's fine.
Sorry, I was just...
Yeah, no.
we're a little close here. That's... and clearly we don't know where the corners of that car are, because she's going to have to take a shunt forward here, which is going to put her unbelievably close to the front of us. Oh no, she decided to drive it into the hedge.
Hedge is flexible.
Okay.
That's fine.
I wonder if the camera picked that up.
Probably not, because actually when you play it back, it's surprising how much sort of gets cut out in this area, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just... But,
yeah, it was.
okay, interesting. Sorry.
It's easy to drop into that, so lift your vision high.
So you can keep it really quite zippy. So you've talked about this, but you might also want to talk about us coming this way.
Yeah.
What would we do if somebody was coming the other way and they moved out?
Yeah, well that's why I'd put that in originally.
Yeah.
So that when I'd done that bit, I said, right, the next scenario is if we were coming the opposite way.
Yeah. And it's all about, anticipation is everything, isn't it? Forward planning and observation, help you to anticipate what people are going to do. So you might want to introduce something about, people don't always do what we expect them to do, so we need to be ready for that. So and plan for it, so we keep ourselves out of danger.
Yeah.
I dropped you a little hint here when you said, why would you check if somebody they might be driving too close. So I wanted you to then tell me about distance behind, because that's part of the subject today.
Right.
So you might drop a little hint like that. You might not, because remember again that they want to put themselves into a position where they're not really helping you. Otherwise, they're not testing your knowledge really. If it's them prompting you all the time.
Yeah, because I've just remembered something else. When I was going through it in my head earlier, I wanted to put it as regards the clearance. You didn't want to get yourself right up to the car to then have to come out 90 degrees and round. And that's
so you could probably structure that so that by leading through this situation, you can cover a lot of what you're talking about there.
Yeah.
It is a meet situation. You can then reverse the thing, but a meet is anywhere where we come into wanting to use the same piece of road as another road user. It's as simple as that, isn't it? That's what a meet situation is, when we're wanting to use the same piece of road as somebody else is using.
Yeah. Okay.
Or they want to use the piece of road that we're using. And that describes it really simply. So we need to anticipate these things and plan accordingly, and try not to be at that space at the same time as the other road user. That's it in a nutshell, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Then you can add some of the little detail. Where do I look? We need to be looking for people in the car. So it's not just a case of waiting for the car door to open. Let's anticipate that. For the car door to open, does somebody need to be in the car? Yeah. So where can you look for them? Oh, well, I'm not sure. Or he might go, inside the car. So by asking the question, it gives them the option of thinking, I like the way you're playing this. Yeah, okay, I can see where you're at. You clearly know what you're doing. I'll just answer the questions and we'll get on the road. Or you might think, I'm not so sure that I'm happy with the explanation you've given me. Or you might use phrases that I'm not happy with. I'll not play that. I haven't a clue. Don't know. So, and again, the pedestrian, how will we know if there's somebody there? Where would that pedestrian be before he was there? Well, he'd be there, wouldn't he? Can you see him from here, do you think? Well, I suppose I might. So we can watch up the inside. Oh, right, I see what you're saying. Just make it flow logically and obviously using your own words. It's all right the way you've done it. Let's see when you play it back.
But yeah, I mean, I say it maybe because it gets back. If I was physically driving, I'd have done that and looked down that bit. But I've probably been drawn into sort of, right, here you look, at this point we're going to do something different. And then what's going to happen? Rather than, like I say, because you're going to be looking
if you ever
already.
think about what you do when you're driving, with the commentary driving we did at phase 2, at part 2, if you approach this situation from, not from here, but from back here, you'd be seeing there's a line of parked cars on the left. I'm checking up the left of it for pedestrians. I'm looking inside to see that there's nobody there that's going to open that car door. There's nobody behind me. I'm just going to pop a signal on to let the guy ahead go. He's coming down at a fair bit of speed, so I'm going to just adjust. I'm going to make sure he goes through before I get there. And you would do all of that in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So we then somehow seem to want to turn it into 8 minutes. When we're sat stationary. So just talk about what you were doing, why you would be doing it. It really is that simple. Especially when you drive to the level that you're driving at.
Yeah.
So just talk about what you were doing, why you were doing it.
Unnecessarily complicated.
We do. And they don't want a very long-winded brief. They want the basics covered so that the person here feels, right, I know what I'm doing. I can have a go at that because I feel that I have the right information. So we don't need to have a massive amount of detail on it, we just need to cover the basics. Because you're going to cover it again when you get out on the road. So we very often struggle because we say, oh, you've only got 8 minutes to do this. And we see 8 minutes as a target, so we want to fill that 8 minutes. Well, what if you can do it in 2?
Yeah. And then do it in 6 minutes
and on the road, on the road while actively managing the risk. And that's what it's all about. It's risk management.
Yeah.
People get bent out of shape about the new standards check. It's always been about risk management. Always. That's what teaching people to drive is about. We're surrounded by idiots who are going to try and kill us. We need to manage that risk. And to manage the risk, you need to be able to make good decisions. So if we create good decision makers, they're good at managing risk. It's dead easy. But that's what it's always been about. This is not new. Everybody's up in arms. Oh, they've added this risk management. What do you mean added it? It's always been part of it. That's why the register was created in the first place. It's because they felt that there was risky instruction going on, that people weren't being taught to manage the risk in a correct way.
Okay.
So you feel comfy you've got the bits and pieces you need to be able to...
I think so now, yeah. Because it makes it far easier just looking at it as how I would have driven up to that scenario.
What would you have considered?
Yeah.
Because all the stuff you've talked to me about, you would have done that. But you would have talked to... I've sat next to you when you've done it. You would, that's the thing that I do with the commentary drive videos that I've done. It's just putting it in simple words. Okay, I've got this situation happening here. This is how I'm taking account of it. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm thinking about. But your anticipation starts from the very first... You turn into a new road and you see some parked cars, you're anticipating it straight away.
Yeah.
So, talk to the learner driver. I mean, it doesn't matter how you shape the thing, but, you could just say, okay, when you turn into a new road, you scan the entire road as far as you can see, and we're looking for potential problems. So if there's parked cars there, I'm thinking, well, is there somebody coming the other way? So there's a meet situation. So I want to manage that meet situation by anticipating what's going to happen. So what could happen, I'm asking myself, well, and it's playing the what-if game. There could be kids behind that car. Can I see any feet underneath? Are there any drivers in the car? That's the sort of thing I'm looking for. And then I'm adjusting my speed to take account of vehicles coming towards me. I do not want to arrive at that meet situation, that pinch point, if you like, at the same time as the vehicle coming the other way, if it's avoidable. So I can adjust my speed just to take account of it. So it becomes very simple.
Yeah.
As I'm going past that, I'm also looking for these sort of situations. That car might pull away, that cyclist might be there. But so what would I do about that? Well, I'd probably reduce my speed. There's a danger the car door might open, so I want to take that into account and leave enough room for that to happen. If I can't leave enough room for that to happen, then I need to be going through slowly enough so that I could stop in the distance between me and that car door if it did open. There you go, it's done.
Yeah.
And if we can keep it that simple, But we get bogged down, and I did it when I was qualifying. Everybody does the same, and I don't think it's necessarily just our course materials that lead people into thinking that. I see it in other people that I do training with. It they think if they can just deliver the perfect brief, everything will be fine. Well, it won't.
Yeah.
I can promise you it won't.
Yeah, there's the other bit, the other side to it.
So, if we take 8 to 10 minutes, if you get to 10 minutes, the examiner will go, right, okay, that's enough now, move on. So you've got 20 minutes. Well, you haven't got 20. You've probably got about 16 minutes left where you can show them your stuff in a real life situation. And you've got to make ground up now because he's sat there thinking, God, that was long-winded. Whereas if you just do it in a few minutes,
yeah,
I mean, up to 8, if it, some things take longer than others, but you just give them a brief. The clue's in the name, isn't it? Brief. You give them a brief, get on the road and show them your stuff in a live situation.
So just a case of, just to sort of recap on, right, at this point, if it were me, I'd be looking, yeah, and I've spotted this, and then chuck it across and say, what do you think the danger is here?
Or he might go, God, I know. That's right. And what would you do about that? I'm not sure. I'd be like, okay, I'm giving you a bit, I'm giving you no more.
But you wouldn't just sort of do this speech. Well, if I was doing this, I'd look there, and this is what I'd be doing.
No,
you've got to involve them.
You can do that, and it's seen as okay, but it's not preferable.
But I suppose use examples that I've gone through. Albeit now you've shown me, it'd be easy to sort of start from there, back here and say, look, straight away, which I kind of alluded to, looking down the sides.
That's right. So you've got a meet situation.
And I've sort of highlighted what's going to happen here, what's
and
potential there, what's happening with that one, what's happening with the signals.
And then after you've led them through that, you can talk about it if you were coming the other way.
Yeah,
very brief.
That's what I was going to get at, because what I was going to say, okay, so now we're coming this way with these vehicles here, and we've got a car, he's already committed himself. What's going to happen? Now, hopefully we would have seen that by that. So, yeah, we should have priority, but if he's in our space, we will have no choice but to stop.
Yeah. Or ease back from an early stage.
Yeah.
So you've covered the whole thing, and then you can do it as generally as an anticipation, of course, is we clearly anticipating any problems that there might be. So if our eyes are further up the road, that should help with that. And then, of course, you're out and about doing it. And
but I suppose it's that fine line of the balance for them to say, all right, look as far as you can. And they're looking up in the distance and they don't see the door, it's just about to open because they're looking at the end of the high street.
So the nice thing is that if we're live
but if we're managing
to
it, we should be.
Yeah, we've already taken that into account when we're further back.
Yeah.
So and if we are in a situation where there's a lot of stuff happening like that, well, clearly the sensible thing to do is to slow down. So if they're not going to slow them down. Okay, take a bit of speed off here, slower. This is the speed we need to be doing here because of. Okay, do you want to have a?
No, we'll go with that.
Righty-ho. Back in roll.
Right, Bob. So I think best thing we can do is get out on the road.
Okay.
And we'll have a look at how you get on with what we've just gone through. Before we even leave, we're in a car park. So straight away, what are potential dangers? What can we anticipate may happen? What would we expect initially? We're in a car park, so what at the minimum we can expect?
Cars might. Pedestrians.
Here's a good example.
All right, yeah.
Okay.
They're not watching where they're going either.
So that lends us to have really good observations.
Oh, so watch what I'm doing, you're saying?
Yeah.
All right.
And what about what sort of speed would you go around a car park?
Probably slow.
And what do you consider slow? How slow?
Depends, I suppose. It's a bit tiny, so maybe just walking pace.
Yeah.
Or slow leg in.
Yeah. And we may need to adjust that speed as well.
Right.
So if we see a pedestrian, things to consider with the pedestrians that may be walking about. Could have pushchairs. Could be an elderly person.
Right.
So if for example we've got a pedestrian just on the right here, and like that car's at a reasonable speed, and it was an old person, what's the chances? Is he going to get across the road before the car gets to him?
Maybe not. No.
So again, that's your anticipation, looking well in advance.
Right.
So you may be just able to ease off the gas.
Right.
So you can still keep moving, pedestrians out of the way, and you can continue on.
All right. Okay.
So these are things we need to consider.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So we'll look at that as we go around. So if you could. So if you carry out your cockpit drill for me, please, Bob. Happy with your mirrors? Okay, just watch when you're doing your mirror, hold it from behind, and not across the front, otherwise you could get palm prints on it and it'll end up all smudgy.
Alright, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, happy with that.
Happy with that? Okay, I'll pop mine on. Did I miss anything? Okay then, Bob, so have you ever set off from this location before?
Yeah, I've driven away from here before.
You're happy with that? Okay, so when you're ready, prepare the car to move off.
Enter the car park and take the road to the left.
Put my bearings in. Right, okay, so we're going to go out of the car park and we're going to turn left out of the gate, please. Okay, so we're coming up to a junction. What we're looking out for now? So off.
Pedestrian there.
You can see him now. So we're off the speed, yeah, because he's not paying too much attention.
Oh.
I'm going to turn left. So signal. Get your routine.
Next road on the left.
Okay, we'll take the next road to the left, please, Bob. Okay, just one to watch out for. Got a lady stood at the bus stop there. So what could we expect on this road?
Oh, buses, I suppose.
That's it, absolutely. Okay. Get your speed off. Get your speed off. What we're coming up to?
Oh, it's supposed to take bends, isn't it?
It is, yeah. So was that gear suitable for getting around that corner?
Oh no, probably not now.
Okay. So we're looking ahead, trying to read the road.
Right.
Okay. So you're scanning all the time to see potential hazards. Okay, so coming up on the left, can you see the warning signs? Okay, what's that telling us? What does the second sign indicate? Well, what do they both indicate?
Oh, it's roadworks.
Yeah, and what's the second sign? What's that telling us?
Narrows on the other side, so,
Yeah, narrows.
so
Right.
I've got priority.
So now we've got a car now, so he's off the speed, and start looking, prepare, scanning down the side of the vehicle.
Next road on the right.
To the next road to the right, please, Bob. And if you can find a safe and convenient place on the left to pull up, when we go around the corner, please. Okay, just switch the engine up a minute. I'll just go through a couple of things that I've noticed.
Okay.
So, as you can see, we've got lots of things that will give us clues as we drive around.
Right.
Okay, so we've got bus stops, just simple things that we can associate that with. Right, there's a lady waiting at a bus stop, so there's a good chance there's going to be a bus in the area fairly soon.
Right.
So we can anticipate, especially on the road where we came up to the sharp left turn. There was something written on the road. Did you see what that was?
Oh no.
Well, on the road, it was written in big letters, slow.
All right. Oh, I didn't see that.
Okay, so that's part of your normal road signage.
Right.
So you should be looking at all the signs. They're there to help you. It's giving you information. It's a warning that something's happening.
All right.
So it's slow in that case because we've got a sharp left-hand bend and we've got a bridge. So
Right.
because it's a sharp bend, and just considering what we've just talked about, it's on a bus route. What do you think the possibilities are? What could we anticipate could happen?
Well, I suppose maybe a bus could come the other way.
Okay. Would it be on its own side of the road?
Well, it might not
It's a
be,
large
no.
vehicle, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's the sort of things we've got to be thinking as we're approaching the hazards. What if? So you can get some clues on the road markings. Now on this particular road we haven't got any centre markings.
All right.
But on that road we had some white lines.
Yeah.
Okay. What will happen, you'll see the difference. You know the difference between a normal white line marking and a hazard line?
The hazard lines are longer, aren't
Longer. And it's giving you a clue because it's a hazard. So on the approach
Right.
to that corner, You get really long white lines.
Oh, were they? Oh, I didn't notice.
That, along with the slow sign, it's telling you what's going. There's something. There's a problem ahead. There's a hazard.
Right.
So it's helping you to say, right, I need to do something now. And in that case, you needed to ease off. And you've quite rightly said the possibility is that the bus is now going to be potentially on our side of the road. So that's a meet situation.
Right.
So we would anticipate that and deal with it, because we don't get to the point where we're right on top of him, we've both got to stop.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
You need to be in a position that if you needed to stop, you can stop the vehicle in the distance you can see to be clear.
All right.
At the point of it appearing in front of you. So you don't want to race around in third gear. So you set your car up correct speed for that. Okay?
So that should have gone round a bit slower.
Prepare the car before. It's all around your preparation. So it's on the approach to the hazard, you've seen the slow in the road. So straight away, it's your hazard drill. Mirror, checking what's behind you.
Right.
Because you need to know what's behind you. Why would it be important if you had to check the mirror, a bus crane on the corner, what's going to happen? What's the thing you're going to have to do?
Oh, I have to brake.
You have to brake. If you haven't checked the mirror, what could happen?
Oh, I suppose he might be too close and hit me.
Exactly.
Right.
Okay.
Right. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
All right. So, if we look at where we've just come up past the roadworks, okay, that was quite a good example, that one. So that's giving you a clue straight away. So again, we're scanning as far as we can see. We're moving our eyes all around. So, like we are now, we've got a situation where we've got cars parked on both sides of the road.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So immediately it's narrowed it.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So we've got to think of, if a car was to come the other way, could we get through that gap? Could we both get through?
All right.
So,
I see. Yeah. Okay.
so one car's going to have to wait, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we use the anticipation to look at, well, can we get round before the other vehicle gets to us?
Right.
Or, if he's fairly close to the black car at the back, can we ease off, slow down, and you may just need to lift off on the accelerator. You may need to introduce some brakes to allow him to come through, get out of our way, so that then we can pass the silver car.
Oh, okay.
So, as much as possible, you're wanting to keep the vehicle moving, but safely. But if you have to, you need to be able to stop. But by looking as far as you can pick up the clues.
Right.
Okay. So, not only to help
Just
you.
drop at a roll there. How long are we going to take over this?
There we go.
You've made your point nicely.
Yeah.
With the bridge. Look for another situation. He doesn't want another briefs out of you.
Right.
Definitely not. He'd be like, oh, yeah. And you nearly give me in it. You say, well, you want to keep the vehicle moving. Well, can we move it?
Yeah. Okay.
There's some lovely stuff in what you're giving me there, but I don't think you need as many words. It's so hard, isn't it? Once you start explaining something, you think, oh, and another thing.
Yeah.
And while we got this situation here, let me tell you about this.
You know what I thought? We came here, and I thought, right, I'm just going to go through that. I started talking, I thought, hang on, there's two
This is
cars
lovely.
here.
So it's tricky. It's tricky not to, and it's the easiest thing to do. And again, when you've got this on your lap, it drops you into briefing mode. It was a nice the discussion. You could use this, of course.
Yeah.
If that happened, look what's happening here.
Yeah.
Okay. So what would you have done if you were that red car?
Yeah.
Why do you think you let that one go? Because he's going uphill. But it's so easy to just drop in there. Huge
But
explanations.
that's great if the timing's right, and that happens when you want it to happen, doesn't it?
I mean,
the thing.
that's why I didn't jump in before. I thought, oh, okay, we're going to use the situation around you then, and that was fine. And I think we were on the limit of what we've done, and you were just about to explain something else. I thought, no, wait a minute.
Yeah. What I was going to say, which right, you're quite right, was I was just going to pick up on the approach to the signs for the roadworks. That as we came round, there was an opportunity to look
Up the inside.
right. Well, both sides. Down the side of the van that was parked to the right.
Yeah.
And obviously, at that point,
That's
you should
where
have
I
picked
thought
up
you
where the
were going
Honda
with
was.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was leading up to next, looking up the side of this one. I said you can use that as a extra vision.
Sure.
So it's slimming that down. Okay.
It is. There's some good stuff in there, but, don't...
It's the speed of it, isn't it? Not to...
Yeah.
It's getting drawn into that. It says...
Yeah. You haven't got a lot of time.
I remembered something else, yeah.
And there's some lovely stuff you give me, but it's... You can do some of that, live while you were moving. Sometimes you can't. I mean, it just depends. I mean, it's good stuff you give me. It might be happy to just let you run with it, but he wants to see you manage it.
And this is what I'm thinking,
really.
because if it was, and it keeps going back to remembering what this guy is, I'm thinking, well, if somebody hasn't really done a lot of this, they're not going to know about using little tips about getting extra vision.
Well, it's true. I mean, you mentioned it as we're coming up. Now, look, we've got a view up the inside of the vehicle, so let's have a quick look. And you just, introducing them to the concept. And then, look up here, can you see up the inside of the vehicle again? Does that give you a better view? Oh, yeah, it does, yeah. So you can get that sort of buy-in, but careful not to drop into full-blown brief mode again. Otherwise, you spend 20 minutes of the 25 sat at the side of the road talking, and it's not really live risk management. Throw the damn thing away. Radio, back and roll. But some good stuff in there.
Right. Okay. So now I've milked that to death.
On we go.
I'm going to say, setting off from here, I'm not now going to say, well, let's watch out for these two.
No, I'm not going to let you. So I'm going to drive us past these parked cars. Now I'm back and roll.
Your ears are bleeding. Right. Okay, so we've got an opportunity on this little stretch of road. What have we got? Coming up towards us.
It's a bend.
A bend, so what might happen? What could we expect to happen?
Something could come the other way.
Yeah. Or there could be something parked around the corner. We don't know yet, do we?
Right.
So
No,
we've got to be prepared for that. So as we're coming around, check your mirrors. Yeah,
Oh, you're right,
and
there
there we
is.
are. So what could we anticipate might happen there?
Somebody might get out of the car. Left of the roundabout.
We'll go left at the roundabout, please, Bob. Okay, exit we're taking. Go on, use this.
Next left.
Take the next left, please, Bob. So just watch your speed. Watch your speed. Take your speed up. Okay. So what have we got here?
Oh, it's a parked car.
Okay. So early vision, looking around, scanning around. That's good. So ease off now. Straight away, ease off. What have we got here?
Oh, some parked cars.
And the road's narrow, doesn't it?
Oh, that's it.
So we just need to take the speed off. It's on a bend as well, so we could have a vehicle that's coming around.
Just out of how close are you going to let me get to those parked cars before you say something? I'll pull up on the left. And again, it's balance, isn't it?
Yeah.
You kind of lock yourself into, right, I'm not going to talk too much now.
It upset me now, that turns.
So if you look at the situation we just come, we came to the roundabout and a car came fast from the left. From the right, rather. So I had to stop.
Yeah.
So I had anticipated well there. You could talk about that.
Yeah.
That was nicely done, well anticipated, because you were alive there. You were ready for that. And then, of course, we come around the corner. We're turning in where there's two vehicles on the right-hand side. The road's narrowed.
Yeah.
You've not mentioned anything. I've then turned left. I'm coming around too fast. You've got the speed off, but you then didn't talk to me about. I would have pulled over then. So we come around that corner. Why do you think I told you to slow down? I don't know. Did you see the car on the corner? Oh no. Well, I did. And I saw it because I was looking there.
Yeah. So
you must have been looking somewhere else. So you must be keeping your eye on the path that you're going to be following. And then, of course, I come in, you're talking about, get your eyes up on the road there. So I actually leant across and looked forward and put us really close to that parked car with a pedestrian behind it, the last that was chatting to my mate.
Yeah.
And I thought, all right, so I went a little closer at the next one, and I went really close to the third one. There wasn't much more than that between us and them at the dormers. So I thought, right, time to pull over. But it is, I think, a symptom of, since stop talking so much, you then back into your shell. So it's difficult.
Because I was thinking, right, okay, well, get it to look ahead, and then forgetting the bit that the immediate danger.
So that little section we drove, the one thing that you could have done with more of there was time, really, to do what you needed. So how can you create more time?
Get you to slow down.
Absolutely. Every time. Every time. Nothing's ever going to be made worse, apart from hesitancy, by slowing down a bit. Yeah. Okay, this is a tricky. Let's take our time here. Look at what's happening here. So we need to anticipate here. So what are we looking for? Oh, I'm not sure. Tell him. So, if I was here, I'm thinking that might walk away. That lady's not really paying attention, so take some more speed off. All right, now you've got time to deal with it if something goes, oh, I see what you're saying. Right, okay. So it's it's just, it's not easy, you know. And again, we're still in the early stages, so you know, there's nothing causing any concern here. It's just
It's from overkill to feast and famine, isn't it?
that's always the way it goes, though, isn't it? When you're doing things like that, you've just overcompensated a little. That's fine. We'll go back around the
Take
same
the
loop.
side of a car. That's fine.
So I progressively got closer and closer, and he'll do the same. But I thought, no, after that last one, I'll pull us over here. So we'll go around the same loop, so it's the same
Okay.
situations.
Yeah. Well,
So I'll take the next road on the left.
take the next turning on the left, please, Bob. Take your speed off. What are we expecting to happen around this corner?
I don't know.
Could there be anything around the corner?
Well, it could.
So you're looking into it. Go straight away now. So take your speed off till you get a good view into the road.
All right.
Okay.
That's really quite slow, then, isn't it?
Just pull up on the left, please. Safe, legal, convenient place. Alright, okay.
We've been in our way 2 days in a row.
Oh.
Still ahead of us.
Check. Can I just send you off a sec? Safe fuel. Just on the junction we've come round there. Okay, it's important you get your speed right
Right.
to give you a chance to react.
Yeah,
So
there
we've come
was a
round,
car,
we've got the
wasn't there?
car.
Yeah.
And as you came round, you were just a little bit wide as well. So it just chucked you out towards the white
right.
line.
Right.
So something you need to anticipate. So as we come round the corner, we get the speed off because we don't know what's round there, do we?
Right. No, we don't
Okay.
know. No, you're
So,
right. Yeah, I saw
what-
it when he was there when I came round.
So as the car's there now, if there was a car coming down this way and you're about to come round the corner, what could you expect to happen?
It's going to be on my side of the road,
It's
isn't
on the
it?
wrong side.
Right.
So it's important to get your speed off so that as you enter
Right.
it, if you need to stop, you've got time to do it.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Because
yeah.
if it's in your side of the road,
Yeah.
yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Okay. So we'll try that again. Start rolling. Is that okay?
Yeah. Fine. It's good. Short.
You had
punchy.
John Wide, didn't you?
That wasn't the fault I was thinking, but yeah, a little. So you busted me on one I didn't mean.
Yeah. As long as I'm spotting them, that's part of it.
I'll hold my hands up for that.
No matter how close you get to the cars, but as long as... fucking roll. Okay, Bob, so in front of us, what's happening with the road?
It's bending.
It's bending. So, using anticipation, what's likely could happen around the corner? Can we see what's around the corner?
No.
Right, so we prepare for it. Okay, so what could be around the corner?
Parked cars, I suppose.
Yeah,
Oh, there is one.
and here we go. So what's the potential?
Somebody coming the other way.
Okay, so check our mirrors, make sure.
Left of the roundabout.
Okay, go left at the roundabout, please, Bob.
First exit.
And then we'll take the first exit from the roundabout.
So I just stopped here. So alert me to it now.
Right, okay. Yeah,
There you go. Look at that.
yeah. Got ya. Yeah.
So that's
Okay,
where
but,
you'd be looking now. Just saying.
Well, the thing is, 'cause I'm looking here, and I look there, all I can see is that
Right.
immediately. So, yeah, no, it's a fair point. Okay, Bob, so we're going to take the first exit off the roundabout. And
Yeah.
if you look across, as we set off, and into the road, you'll see we've got a couple of cars parked already.
Oh yeah.
So, set the car up nice and slowly to get a good view.
Oh.
Here we go. I think potential on our side of the road,
That
so
was a bit quick now.
that's it, right. So just ease back, nice and slowly. In fact, drop it into first. Excellent, and now we can keep rolling. Well done. That was really good.
Next left.
And take the next one to the left, and again, keep the speed up to see what's happening. What we got here? So you just ease back so you can see what's happening. Okay. Very good.
Should I pull back in here?
Just a little bit, and that will give you a little bit of a view to see what's
Oh,
happening.
yeah.
And now we can come back out. Okay. Same with this. Just bring yourself in a little bit. And that gives you better vision. I've got two cars. Just give yourself a bit more. That's it. Remember, potential for doors opening.
Oh yeah, yeah. Left at the end of the road.
And go left at the end of the road. We can look for other clues when we're approaching cars, just to check. Okay. Why are we waiting?
What are you gonna? I've stopped. What are you gonna talk to me about here? So where's the next hazard? It's parked cars, isn't it?
Yeah.
Down there. Start talking to me about it now.
Right.
I can manage junctions.
Okay. So as we look into the new road, straight away we've got cars parked either side of the road, haven't we?
Oh,
So we prepare for that. Mirror. Look down before. Make sure we get out to avoid the potential for car doors opening.
Yeah.
Have a look into the cars. Can we see anything? Can we see any bodies?
No, nobody in there, no.
Okay. Can also sometimes see in the door mirrors of cars. Sometimes you may see reflection, especially if the window's open. Gives you a clue there's somebody in there. So we need to be careful. So again, we've got parked vehicles here and a bend. So just get yourself out a little bit. That's it. And it also gives you a good view around the corner, doesn't it?
Right.
Okay. We passed another warning sign. Remember what?
Our road
Remember what it said? Yeah.
Next left.
We'll take next turning on the left, please. Okay. Remember your mirror signal manoeuvre. Routine. Mirror first before you put the signal on.
Oh, I did.
Okay. Okay, that's better. Well done. Now we've got vehicles coming down before us, so just ease off, ease off. So what we're going to do now, I've got one coming up behind us, but don't worry, and we're going to match it for this car clearing us. So now we've got a nice clear gap, so out gently. Well, that's a good example. We've got a van with the door open, so potential there's somebody working around that van. Again, we've got one parked over, so ease off, ease right off. Don't race into an oncoming situation. That's better, that's much better. And again, now we've got a hill, we've got cars coming up. So get yourself out early. We're watching, making observations to the right because we've got a junction. Okay. That's a good speed, that gives you enough time. Here we go, there's a fantastic example. Car door opening.
Yeah. They take up a lot of room, car doors, don't they?
They do. Now we've got two cars, so just ease off a little bit. That's it. Make sure you get through. And obviously we've got pedestrian here and we've got a junction. So we can anticipate what might be happening. So look into the junction as you pass it. Don't forget to have a look because we've got a car coming out there. Okay. Right, so we'll look down to the end of this road. We've got a car parked, and as we can see, we've got a car coming onto our side of the road now.
Yeah.
So he's cleared now. We'll just maintain this nice steady speed. That's good. We've got one more blue car parked. Got the front of a van here, so it's just worth checking when you see something nosing out. Just because what could happen if there was somebody in it?
Oh, it might pull away.
Exactly. So again, we need to check. Now it's very important to check the mirrors. Just looking at what's behind us now.
She's very close, isn't
Very
it?
close, yeah. So we're aware of that. So what could happen on this bend?
Might be somebody around there.
Okay, so looking through it, that's it. We're going too fast. We've got a parked car here, so we need to be aware of that.
Yeah.
And we've got another car parked, so
Second road on the right.
take the second road on the right, please, Bob. This one being the first. So because this car's close behind you, we're a signal early, that's it. Bring your speed right down, so she's trying not to be intimidated by it. Okay. Again, think of your course past these vehicles. Just tell me where you're looking now. What's up ahead now? What can we see?
Taxi with his doors open.
More importantly, what's at the side of the road on the pavement?
Oh, there's some kiddies.
Okay, so mirror, off your speed, off your speed. Okay, and just take a position just slightly to the centre of the road at this moment because we need to be aware of this. Slow it right down. Just make sure they're aware because it's so unpredictable. She has seen you. That's
really
good.
Small, aren't they?
Yeah, they'll just run out. They're playing. They don't understand about cars. Okay, so we need to be careful on here. We've got a car park opposite the junction, so we just have a little look into the junction, just make sure what's happening. Okay, which way are we going at the end?
Right at the end of the road.
We'll go right at the end now. Just pull yourself in here now, Bob. We're going to have to stop just to let him clear. Okay, so into first. That's it. Round gently, and then we'll have to get our position ready for doing a right-hand turn. So, is this an open junction?
Just is at the one
Just watch
side.
it, you don't get too far over to that side. Okay, now. Okay, so as we look into the street now, just have a quick look. We've got cars parked on the left, okay?
So we are, yeah.
Nicely done. What else can you see up on the left-hand side?
Oh, there's a bloke doing something.
Okay, so we need to think about him as well. So always aware. So that's a nice speed. Okay. So now we're looking up to the end of the road. Just make sure you're clear of the van. Don't get too close. And then we'll need to get ourselves back towards the curb, ready for going around the corner. We can't see at this minute. That's it.
Next one on the right.
Right, so just ease back. Here we go. This is a good example of what can happen on these tight roads. Someone will pull out in front of you. So again, nice and slow. This is quite a tight junction, so have a good look into it. Okay. Okay, well done.
Get me to pull up on the left.
And pull up on the left, please, Bob, in a nice, safe, convenient place.
So tell me about that last bit.
I don't know, I feel like I've messed up with glare in the office, but I tried to do it as if I was driving.
Okay. What makes you think you've missed something glaringly obvious?
Because I usually have. Because I think I've done it. It's like, yeah, but what about that?
I thought you were going to say because everything looked like it was working properly. There's a reason that I didn't get anything wrong.
Because I was guiding you through it.
You didn't let me.
Yeah.
You are on it straight away. It's a radical difference. It's just like, I see a situation and think, okay, I'm going to use this. And you're already telling me about it. Get yourself out here. The situation with the van, stop. Oh, you've taken control. Stop. I'm a learner who's never done it before, so this is what's required.
Yeah.
I need that level of help. You even found time to talk about the people behind and don't let that intimidate you. How close were they going to get?
Mm.
Honestly, there's an L plate on the top, you know, people are stupid. So you've been alert to everything. The one with the kids, right, get the speed off. That's exactly the thing to do. You might think that we're very slow going past there, but that's the right thing. You know, those kids were so small. Mm. The little one couldn't have been more than 3.
I'm amazed they're even out. Shouldn't even be out there.
I played at the side of the road. Oh my God, what are you doing? Anyway, so you're alert to that. You're alert to the pedestrians. You're drawing my attention to stuff. You're making me do things. I think particularly from when we turned left and went up the hill, you were absolutely on top of it. Even to the point of mentioning the junctions. Okay, we're going to have to come up. You're going to have to be careful about this as well. Brilliant. That's exactly what's required. So,
good.
Very good. Well done.
That was better then.
Yeah. And that's what's required for every subject. So that will transfer. Once you've given me the information, you've then got to make things happen, or you've got to get me to do it, because I'm never going to do it on my own. The stuff that I can do, junctions and stuff, I'm not going to give you any trouble with any of that.
I suppose it's almost like trying to get you to drive blindfold while I'm giving you instructions to a certain degree.
Blindfold to the new stuff.
You wouldn't,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, if I say, well, look to the right, obviously you ain't going to see it. But
Should we try it?
that'd make a good video.
Do a short video.
Yeah, I can see a car coming out. You might want to brake now.
Can you see this car? No? What can you see at the side of the road now?
Yeah, well,
Not a lot.
scrub that bit. We'll edit that bit.
No, but it's a good analogy, and I'm blind to the new stuff.
Yeah.
I will not see that parked car. I will not anticipate those pedestrians, and I'll just drive down the road doing everything that I've done so far. I'll do really well. The new stuff, I'll be really crap at, which is not how it works in the real world. But again, you know, if we allow ourselves to think in terms of, well, that's not how it would work in the real world, then we can get bent out of shape, because it's, you know, but this is how it works. He wants to assess your knowledge on this particular. So it's only on the meet, adequate clearance and anticipation end of things I'll get things wrong.
Yeah.
The rest of it's been smashing, apart from being slightly wide at that junction where you pulled me for.
Yeah.
But of course the key there is I'm staring at the white car, which has led me to be a little bit wide.
Yeah.
Spat my hands.
Okay.
That's a note from my reflection. Sort yourself out, Morn. How did that feel? Does that help to sort of bed things in? We are still in the early stages.
Well, now I've just done that bit, and like I say, it's almost come back to do the running commentary to help somebody that hasn't got to that stage yet, obviously, to guide them. So it is just a slightly different form of the commentary, isn't it? Saying, well, I've already spotted that, so get yourself prepared, ease off, whatever. Yeah.
And using
I
those
think if
skills,
that in those terms, it should hopefully become a bit easier now.
so yes, you need to watch me, but the reality is you shouldn't have to watch me on my junction approach or my junction emerge, because that's not what we're working on. So you perhaps have got the chance to take a look down the road.
Because I'm still sort of watching what you're doing with your feet and what have you.
I'm not going to coast on this. That's not on the PST.
Right.
I'm not going to get my position wrong at junctions, or I shouldn't. And I'm not going to give you problems emerging, so it should just be on the PST.
Irrelevant bit. Okay.
So you can afford to, I'm not going to say relax, we'll never relax fully, but you can afford to take the early view and think, right, where are we going? You know that I've told you we're going left at the roundabout. As soon as you get a view, what's there? Particularly with this sort of thing, but you know...
Because that's what caught me, because when, and on both times you pretty much set it at the same point, as we came up, I was looking that way, and as I looked that way, I must admit, that's all I could see.
Yeah.
I was thinking, well, once we've come round, there was still an opportunity. Once we'd started it, oh, and by the way, look at that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Now look at the road we're going into. All right. And then, of course, it was beautiful because that guy comes zooming the other way. We got into the road, there was a guy coming, you forced me speed down, which is exactly what's required. So you're controlling the situation to allow me to be exposed to that risk under your instruction.
Okay.
Cup of tea time, I think. So there we are, we're all lunched up now. How splendid.
Sauce down the center.
So
There's one good thing I did pick up on the videos so far. At least there's some jollity in it. We're smiling quite a bit.
Well,
there's no animosity anywhere.
No, I mean, granted, it's a serious business, but my word, you know, if you can't have a little bit of fun in your working day, there's something the matter. You know, it's just. Although I do get told off most mornings for being too jolly. I'm too happy, apparently.
All right. That means too miserable.
It's just like, too happy. Do you know, I once had that written on one of my school reports. Undaunted cheerfulness.
Undaunted.
Daunted. A terrible thing to say about a child. Undaunted cheerfulness. That could have turned into a right grump. So, phase one will be completed. You'll say, if you looked at the PST when you signed it at the beginning, you'll realise that the next phase is on progress hesitancy and normal road positioning. I'm going to have a look at my notes. You can get yourself ready for that. And he'll say something along the lines of, I'd like you to instruct me as a pupil with poor judgment of speed, and I've got difficulty with my general road positioning, and assume that I'm at the train stage. I've got my test coming up. My last instructor said we needed to have a little look at this today. My name's Dave. Feel free to call me that. And then if you want to give you the chance to have a look at your stuff, and then when you're ready, we'll begin.
Afternoon, Dave.
Hiya.
I'm Andy. I'm an instructor for this afternoon.
Hi, Andy.
Right, yeah. I've been asked to take a look at your driving in respect to a certain aspect of it, and that's making general progress and hesitancy in your driving. So, can you say that again? Got myself in a loop here.
Let's say, as we come on a roll, that might happen to you on an exam, and it can do. You just like, oh, suddenly you draw a blank, just blank, just take a breath, reset, go back to the beginning.
Yeah. Hi Dave, good afternoon.
Hiya.
I'm Andy, I'm your instructor for this afternoon. Today I've been asked to cover this subject with you, which is making progress, looking at hesitancy and your road positioning.
All right.
Okay. So, are you close to doing a test at this point?
Yeah, I've got one in a couple of weeks.
Couple of weeks' time, excellent. So you've had quite a bit of time out on the road.
Oh yeah, I've had loads. Yeah.
Okay. Other than your lessons, do you get a chance to practice anywhere else?
Yeah, I drive my dad's car. Yeah.
Okay. So you've had a good experience of different types of roads.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Okay.
Yeah.
And obviously the different speed limits.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So when we're out on the road and we're out and about with other road users, other traffic, just tell me what you understand about positioning, making progress, and being hesitant. So, normal road positioning, what's your understanding of that? When we're
I'm
driving
only
along?
sort of in the middle of your lane.
Middle of the lane, okay. Making progress?
Well, it's just travelling at the right speed for the conditions.
Okay. In that, we have speed limits. Are you comfortable with getting up to the speed limit?
Oh, yeah.
Where it's suitable? Okay. And hesitancy, what's your understanding of that?
That's when you're like holding people up, isn't it? Because you're not going when you could.
Yeah, that's it. So we need to be looking at that, and we'll have a look at your driving. I'll take a look at how your positioning is, what speed you're doing relevant to the conditions around us.
All right, okay.
Okay, and your positioning. So, just very quickly, if, for example, in this diagram here, we've got a clear road. You're doing 50 miles an hour on a 60 limit. You've got some cars behind you. Do you think that's good?
I suppose it depends.
Well, if the traffic behind you is wanting to get up to 60 and you're doing 50, what's the likelihood of what's going to happen? What are they going to want to do?
Well, I suppose they might want to overtake.
Okay, so by forcing them to overtake, you're creating a hazard then.
No, just break a road. You're dealing with a fault that hasn't happened.
Right, okay.
He's not going to give you anything at the start. His answers will be completely non-committal. And he's not going to answer anything in a way. It's tricky there, 'cause you put me... I was just trying to think of a way of dodging around it.
So I just using this as an example, and that's why I said looking at this if you do 50 and a 60.
That's over-instruction, I think.
So, in other words, just do that, and then let's go for a drive.
Yep, you've asked me the questions and I've said, well, it's about the normal road conditions. I'm never going to give you an answer that's going to indicate what the fault is I'm going to do.
Right, so do that, but get
I
out
think the
and then
danger,
see
the
how you
danger
do it.
here could be that,
Comes a lecture.
it becomes a brief and you convince yourself that you've sorted the job out. And I promise you haven't.
Well, no, because as I said, it's got to be relative to the conditions at that moment in time.
That's right. So you've got to be careful that you don't get involved in a brief, because it's very easy to do that. And I like the way you dealt with it here. Tell me what you think. And I've given you some fairly vague answers.
Yeah.
And I mean, again, referring to the examiner guidance, what it says in their book is, if questioned at the beginning of the phase, the examiner should not tell the PDI what their faults or problems are.
Yeah.
Responses should be of a non-committal nature.
Yeah.
So
So you give me a rough idea of
Yeah.
your understanding of that.
I know what's meant to happen.
Yeah.
Clearly, I'm not going to do that, otherwise how am I going to test you?
Yeah.
But if you get involved in these, and I might give you the right answer there, but I'm still going to get it wrong.
Yeah. Okay.
So there'll be no clue at this stage as to what my problems are going to be,
Yeah. All right.
generally.
So almost with this one, just concentrate on that a little bit,
I would do
then
that.
out on the drive and see what happens.
And use these if it comes to, you know, you can do a quick question and answer, but you're not going to get any clue as to what the problem might be,
Yeah.
or might not be. What's your normal road position? Oh, in the centre of my lane. So am I then going to sit in the centre of the lane? Probably not. If I told you there that, I wouldn't do 50, I'm probably going to go and do 50 and a 60.
So with that in mind, if I was to say, right, well, understand of hesitancy, for example, in this scenario, cars this distance away, what would be going through your mind to make that decision?
Just whether I can get out in time.
And what would be the factor in that?
How far away he is and how fast he's going.
Yeah.
So
And that's all I need to do for that, and then let's
that's the
see what
answer
happens in
you're
there.
going to get. He's not going to go, well, I'd be a bit wary there. You're not going to say that.
Yeah.
Although he's going to do that, he's not going to say it.
So all you're doing is sort of clarifying he's an understanding of what should happen.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay.
Is he then doing that? Because, of course, it's like with the other subject. He's had a brief on the subject. He's done this lesson before. So he is aware of what's meant to be happening, but he just happens not to be doing it.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So I think the best thing is to get out on the road.
All right, okay.
And we'll go through some different scenarios. Just that roll.
Go on.
So from here, obviously on the test, I won't know where we're going with that.
No.
And are we going to have a fairly good mix, or is it purely going to be like housing estate?
You're not going to be far away from here, because your phase one will have ended somewhere close to here.
Yeah.
So there's not too many places you can go.
So I was thinking, if we went back that way under the bridge, up towards like the test centre, and out onto the main road there, it's not like to sort of head up that way, because then you got Because here you're fairly limited to sort of 30 miles an hour, and possibly 20 past schools or whatever. Whereas up there you can get to 40, turning into a 30. And
You could head out that way. It's, shall we say, there's enough very close to where we are for me to do what I need to do.
all right, no, that's fine. Yeah, yeah,
And again, these things are limited by the test centre. Now, there are some 60 mile an hour roads not too far away if we're led out towards Darrington. Then you've got the problem of getting there, finding somewhere to turn and come back.
Yeah.
Or you can go down to Darrington and back along through Carlton. So there are options.
Yeah.
It depends on what it is that he wants to do. If he's, for example, if I want to demonstrate that I'm too slow, I could head out onto a 60 and do 40. But I can quite easily just do the same thing by doing 20 here,
yeah,
and where I could clearly do 30.
Yeah.
Or doing 10 in a 20.
yeah.
So there's all sorts of options open to it. Normal road position, well, you can just do that anyway, can't you?
Yeah. Okay. So we'll head out
Okay.
and we'll try a few different roads
Okay.
and see what we can observe. So before we do that, if you carry out your cockpit drill, please, Dave. Okay, happy with that?
Yeah.
Okay, just put my seatbelt on. Okay. And have you driven from this point before? Have you
I
set up from
have,
here before?
I have, yeah.
Okay.
We'll take the road to the right.
Okay then, as we pull out the car park to the left, we're going to turn to the right at the junction, please.
It's made it a bit tricky, isn't it?
Okay. Just watch your positioning, Dave. Towards the centre of your lane. Can we pull on the left just after the brown car, please, Dave? Safely and convenient place. Okay, let's switch the engine off a moment. Okay, nice and steady out of the car park, that was good. When we got to the junction, could have taken a bit more effective observation to the right. But as we pulled out, the biggest problem that I've picked up on is your positioning. You're very close to the white line. As we come round the bend just further back, we did have a car coming towards us. So you're out to the centre of the road.
Right.
What's the likelihood, the potential likelihood there?
Well, I thought I was fairly well tucked in.
No, you're well towards the centre of the road. So
Was I?
you're that far over, so potentially you could actually go over into his side of the road. So
Well, I was on my side of the line, though.
only just.
All right.
You're very close to the centre. So you've already told me what should be the normal driving position.
Yeah.
So where would we normally need to be positioned?
Well, sort of
in normal
in
driving.
the middle, wasn't it?
In the middle.
I thought it was.
Then we're over towards the centre.
Alright.
Okay. So in light of that, if we've got traffic coming towards us, what we've got to consider?
Well, I suppose that they've got enough room to go through, but I think they did, didn't they?
Well, you were very close to them. They had their drum on their side. They'd already set themselves up,
Right.
but you were close to the centre.
All
So
right.
we need to make sure we're on our side. You may have to, at sometimes, just forgive that normal driving position, maybe take a position just a little bit closer to the curb. You may not have an option. In your normal road driving, we'd take a position to the middle of the lane that we're driving in.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Okay. Right. What I need to do is just that roll there.
Go on then. Let's
I thought, well,
Let's
I think I
see.
sort of cracked it, but then I've just gone into waffle there.
let's see how that works. So if you run down that list and just think about the conversation that we just had, am I aware that the fault's been committed?
No, you're not.
I thought it was alright. Am I aware why it's a problem? I don't think it was a problem. So until you get that sorted, you can't really move effectively to the next bit.
Well, you weren't, because you said, no, I thought it was alright, but I said, no, you were up to the centre.
So that's a
And what was the consequence?
Okay, so...
Okay.
So if you can get that view, say, well, actually, it is a problem. Okay, let's assume you've gone across to there.
Yeah.
And we're aware why it's a problem.
Yeah, well, ask you, so what's the consequences? He was on his line.
What did I say? I was over my side, sorry. I didn't go over his side. You have plenty of room.
Yeah, you did.
So I'm not coming on board, am I?
No, right. So I'm at that point. Okay.
So have a little play with that. It's just interesting just to see if it works.
Okay.
So you've just pulled me over.
Okay. So
Clearly, I'm sat on the white line.
yeah. Okay, then. So
I can always remember there's a reason why I'm doing it.
yeah. So I picked up on as we've come around the bend there.
Right.
Your positioning was well to the centre of the road.
Oh.
Were you aware you're doing that?
No,
Okay.
I thought it was alright.
No, you were very close to the centre of the road. And with the car that was coming towards us, and he was quite well out.
Alright.
What do you think the implications of that are?
Not sure.
Well, normally we'd be in the middle of each other's lanes. And if
Right.
we're getting close together, what's the likelihood or possibility?
Well, I think there was plenty of room there, wasn't there?
Well, no, there wasn't.
Oh, okay, right.
So when we get close, what's the potential to happen?
I suppose if you're close, you might make contact.
You might make contact.
Right.
We need to avoid that. Now, would you know? You're saying you don't realise when you're doing it, because obviously you've drifted out to the centre of the road.
Yeah, I thought I was alright, yeah.
Okay, so by using your observation, as you're looking ahead, you're looking at the lane, look at the position of that car now, just in the middle of the road.
Well, that's not right, is it? He's turned right from the left-hand side of the lane.
Yeah, well, I was looking at this as he's going straight ahead. Let's see what this car does, so we can use that as an example.
Oh, he straddled the lane.
He's had to overtake you though. So he's had to come past you to overtake. So he's got no option but to go on the other side.
Still at the right though, isn't he?
Yeah, again he's on an overtake. But in normal driving,
I'll just break in there. So the guy, I've fed you the line there. He's just overtaken gone right from the left-hand side of the lane. Right, so his position led you to think he was going to do something else here. Well, yeah. So what do you think our position's doing? Shit. Nowhere to go.
yeah.
Nowhere to go. Oh. So by positioning to the right, if you were following a vehicle that was positioned over the right, what would you think? I might think he was turning. Do we want people thinking we're turning when we're not? Oh, I suppose not. So
Yeah.
are we aware now why it's a problem?
Yeah.
Why is it happening?
Yeah.
Does he know why it's happening? No. Tell me how you're judging your distance from the curb. Tell me how you're positioning yourself in the lane. Well, I'm just sort of guessing, well, clearly that's not working. So we need to find a different way of doing it. So when you're moving on, and a little bit of a chat, do we know why it's happening? Why? Well, so you said you're driving your dad's car. What sort of car does your dad drive? He's got a Hummer.
Right, yeah.
There's always a reason. He's used to being sat out here because his dad's just letting him do it.
Yeah.
So if we're leading through this, are we aware there's a fault committed? It may be a no. Well, it is. All right, okay. So that's a yes now. Are we aware why that's a problem? Well, he's not, because he doesn't think it is a problem. But
So we use
there's
that
just a
to
brilliant
demonstrate.
example. It couldn't have worked out better. The guy from the left, bloody driving instructor and all, by the way, from the left-hand side of the lane turns right. Now look at that. And you said, oh, look, and I pointed it out to you. He's turned right from the left-hand side. So his positioning was important there, wasn't it? It's confused you. Oh. So we might be confusing people. Do you think that would be a problem? Oh, no, so I can see what you're saying. Consequences now. So let's have a little look at why that's happening. So how are you judging your position on the road? You might go, oh, I'm just sort of trying to put myself in the middle of the lane. Well, you clearly weren't. So we need to find a different way of doing that. All right. Can you think back to when you did your first lesson, your normal driving position? Did you use a reference point? Oh, I did, yeah. Are we still using that reference point? Oh, no, I've stopped. Right, okay, so how can we stop it happening? Well, we need the reference point to line up. Now, you make sure, right, line that reference point up. This is where we need to be. even if it's a case of saying, in a bit, out a bit, in a bit, out a bit, this is where we need to be. Now find a reference point. All right, that's a position we need to be. Right, now you try and continue with that, and then you're done.
Right.
Very simple. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So do you want to reset and try that again?
Yep. Okay.
You just pulled me over.
Okay, Dave. I've just pulled you because I've noticed we've got a bit of a problem with positioning.
Go over.
Okay. You're tending to sit right in the middle of the road, running up almost on the white line.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Now you're not aware that's happening, no?
Well, no, I wasn't. No.
Okay. And what about the car that's coming the other way? We got quite close to that, didn't we?
Did we? All right. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
we did.
Well, I suppose we were a bit. Yeah.
We did, and there was potential there for an impact.
Right.
So,
right.
by getting your position right, it's going to reduce that risk of coming into contact with other vehicles.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Right.
There's obviously a reason why it's happening, but you're not realising that you've actually got a fault at the moment.
Right.
You don't realise you're doing it.
Right.
So, you said you drive your dad's car.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Is it a big car?
It is. Yeah. Yeah.
Much bigger car. So, we're now a small car, so it's probably forcing you partly to sit further out towards the white line anyway, through its sheer size.
Right.
And it's maybe not being highlighted to you when your dad's out with you that you are running towards the central line. He's maybe not even picked up on it.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, if you remember a little bit earlier, we've just had a car pass us
Yeah.
and do a right-hand turn.
He did. Yeah, from that side.
He did, yes. So, with everything you've done so far, how would you expect the vehicle to be positioned to do that right-hand turn?
Right. You were by the lane, wouldn't he?
Okay. So the positioning has led you to think what?
I thought he was going to go left at first.
Exactly. So it's confusing for you. So put yourselves in the shoes of someone that may be following you, and you're going up the centre line. What do you think they're going to think?
They might think I'm turning right.
Okay.
See
So-
what you're saying, yeah.
So we need to look at finding a way to help you get a reference point for this car, so that you're in the normal driving position.
Right.
And if needs be, what we can do, as we are now parked, it may work for you if you look towards the centre of the windscreen where the wiper blade is. That should run pretty much in line with the curb line.
Or the little knobble on the end of
Yeah,
it.
does that work
Yeah,
for you?
that's like
Okay.
the curb, yeah.
So what we'll do, we'll set off and we'll just pull out a little bit and we'll get your normal driving position. Okay,
Right.
and we'll look for a little reference point there, and
Right.
you'll know then that that's the position you should normally be driving in.
Right.
Okay, and then when you're ready to do a turn either to the right or the left, then you'd assume your correct driving position,
Right.
which, as you've correctly pointed out, which if you're turning right would be towards the centre of the road.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
so everyone's aware of your intentions by positioning.
All right, okay.
Okay. Start roll. Does that cover it enough?
Well, how did it feel as you ran through? Did it
It
make
made more sense. Yeah, because
Okay.
it's,
Okay.
and obviously having, which I didn't pick up before, but obviously having the car as an example, because they're always good things.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Couldn't be better.
Yeah.
So this is a little pattern that we just need to repeat with when you find the fault.
Yeah.
You've made the mistake. Am I aware I've done it? Am I aware of why that's a problem? So why do you think, what's the issues here, which you've explained about? What would you think if you were there? And I thought you were going to give me a one-way lecture first, but then you said, well, what would you think? Oh, right. What did you think about that car? Oh, I thought he was going left. So, and then, of course, you get the, oh, I see what you're saying. Right. Oh, of course. Do we know why it's happening? No. Do we know how we can stop it happening? Well, you just helped me do that. Well, hopefully you're just about to put that into action. So you've got me to get a reference point there,
Yeah.
under the wiper blade. This little knobble here is close-ish for normal driving position.
Yeah. So when you're looking at the wiper blade, where you're sitting for the reference point, looking at the blade, what you the end of the
The blade at this side, you
Yeah.
get the arm coming along, then you've got the little shroud on the end with
Yep.
the piece that's about that long,
Yep.
the little cap. That cap, the end of that cap lines up with the curb when I'm parked.
but on normal driving, it's that
It's
one.
around about that.
Oh, okay.
It's a guide.
Yeah. So I could introduce that, say, right, as we are stationary, that's your reference point, and you may find that in normal driving position, if you use this
Yeah, that might work.
this bit
And
here
it is just
as
a guide,
guide.
and then you can assess it and think, okay, we need to be a little bit wider than that.
Yeah.
Right, whatever you got lined up now, all right. And then you've got it fixed. If
Yeah.
you run round that loop, and you can have these print loads of them, you just tick them as you're aware, no, and you keep at it until he is aware, or until you say it is.
Yeah.
Then you can get into the client-centered method. And do we know why that's a problem? What issues might that cause? Do you think? Oh, I don't know. And then okay. So now that we realise that it can create issues, do you know why it's happening? Oh, I don't know. Well, it's this. Do we know how we can stop it happening? And then I've added this bit because you still have to make sure you stop it happening. Because with all that conversation, a real live learner would go, all right, and they're just packing doing it. This guy's going to just carry on doing it.
Just do the white
till
line
we make
again.
sure.
Yeah.
So should we try that?
Yeah. Okay, so just get the car more towards the centre of the road, Dave. A little bit further across to the left, a little bit further across, so we're in the middle. Well, that's much better. Now, just see if you can line up. I'm just waiting a minute, we've got a car coming towards us. Okay, now you may be able to use this as a guideline for you.
Yeah, that's lined up
The
there.
sort of space from the curb. Is that working for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that about right, is it?
Just remember, as we would do, anything that's parked towards the curb, we're going to have to take relevant avoiding action.
We're going left off this one-way system.
This one.
Yeah.
Take the next turning on the left, please, Dave. I'm just thinking about positioning as we go into this one. And what have we got as we come round?
Oh, some park cars.
Okay. And what have we got looking up the road as well? What can we see?
Oh, there's roadworks, yeah.
Okay. So what we've got the potential of.
Oh, I might step out.
We're going to have to change our position, aren't we? So
Oh, yeah.
that's it. Now, I can make a little bit more progress. That's fine.
Go left of the roundabout.
Go left at the roundabout, please, Dave. Okay. Tell me what you're waiting for there, Dave. 'Cause you could have gone at that point. Got a nice clear view.
Oh, I just want to make sure it's safe.
Well, you looked into it. You had a nice open view. There's nothing coming. So what made you think it wasn't safe to go?
I waited for the white car to go around, then I went.
Yeah, it is. We'll just find a nice. There is space down there, isn't there? Okay, what are you looking out for down here, Dave?
Kids.
Yeah. Any pedestrians really, or what else? We've got driveways. What else potentially could happen?
Those cars could come out.
Yeah, because we've take this van here blocking that. Here's an absolutely good example of.
Travelling a bit fast, aren't
Yep, on our side of the road. Okay.
they? Next left.
Take the next turn on the left, Dave. Okay. And what can we see now before we even get into the junction?
Oh, like a park car.
Okay, so we need to consider that. Two parked vehicles, so well done, right off on the speed so you get a good view. And positioning here, what we're going to do.
Go like in the middle.
That's it, well done.
Left at the end of the road.
Okay, we go left at the end of the road. Obviously we've got a new hazard just appeared on us. Well done. You can pull up on the left, please, Dave, just before the white car, just by the side of the hedge there, please. Okay. Yeah, can you see the difference in the actual positioning there?
Yeah, yeah.
And you've got an understanding now where
Yeah,
your
well,
vehicle needs to
that
sit.
really helps that,
So
yeah.
that helps, that's brilliant. What I've noticed though, you are just hanging back a bit hesitant.
Right.
It is a fine line, but there are areas where you can make a bit more progress. So as we've come round, yes, you did the right thing to make sure it was safe
Yeah.
and slow down to get past the hazards. However, just a little bit too slow.
All right.
It was, you could have put a few more miles an hour on to get through.
It felt like it was. I didn't want to like run a kiddie over. That'd be awful.
No, but by your observations, you'd be looking out for that and be prepared to stop. But
Right.
not go so slow that you're almost at walking pace yourself.
Yeah.
You've got to make some sort of progress. You've got to think if there was a car behind you, you know, what's he going to think? Main thing is we're coming to a situation. You've done your observations, okay? Like on the roundabout, as we've come up, nice and clear, and we've got a vehicle on the roundabout, which quite right you're considering, but you've also got to consider the speed it is physically moving at.
Right.
If you think of the actual time it took him to come round, he was going sensible speed, quite slow, so we had ample opportunity to get out on our way before it even come round to where we were sitting. So
Okay.
I think we just need to work a little bit on that.
Okay.
Does it worry you? Is it are you afraid of pulling out in front of it?
No.
So what do you think's holding you back?
I just waited till the white car was. I mean, I made sure he was going off first, and once he was, I just got ready and went.
But potentially by waiting all that time, what happened? What would happen if there was a few cars behind him? Would you just keep waiting and waiting and waiting?
I didn't think I'd waited.
Yeah, you held back quite a considerable time.
Okay, come out of roll. So why did it take me a long time to get out?
Because you weren't assessing the speed of the car coming around.
I waited until he'd gone, then I got ready.
Yeah.
So I should be getting ready before he comes around. Then I'm ready to go. So I'm a bit of a plodder, aren't I?
Yeah.
So I'm never going to get ready quick. So I've got, oh yeah, he's going left. Clutch down. Because I've gone into neutral. Clutch down into first. Set the gas. Find the bite. Right. Right, now I can go. That's what was causing the hesitancy. It's not that I'm scared to go. It's I just took
Yeah,
ages to get ready.
Yeah.
And then coming down the street, of course. Oh yeah, he almost fed it to me. Oh, look, it's quite tight around here. Oh yeah, so it is. So I just got slower and slower and slower. I wouldn't want to kill a kiddie. So yes, you've spotted the faults. Great. You've given me a little bit of analysis, but I'm not involved in it. So try this again. With either of those faults. But we'll do it with both, but we'll do it one at a time. You choose whichever one you want first.
Okay, so on the roundabout, you're quite hesitant on setting off. We had a white car coming round.
Oh, it was the red one that went right. Because they signalled it, and then there was the white one.
Yeah.
And he went down the road we'd come up, didn't he?
Okay. So what made you hold back?
Oh, I didn't think I had.
Because we weren't ready to go. When there was actual gap, you weren't ready to go. So, oh, stop it. I can't think of how I need to lead this.
You can just take a moment. So am I aware that there's a fault committed to begin with? Because in my head, well, I've waited until I made sure he was going to turn first because I read that in the highway code,
Right.
and then I got ready.
So, you waited for the car to come round, but the fault is that you're not ready to set off. An opportunity has arisen for you to pull out,
Right.
and you haven't got the car ready. You're still getting it. Once the car's cleared the junction, then you're starting to get it into gear, ready to pull away.
Oh.
So we're losing vital time, by which time another car could have come into the scene by then.
All right.
So you need to be prepared as you approach the junction. Think of when you're doing your other junctions.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do as you on the approach if you're going to do a T-junction turn right? You'd set the car up when you get into a gear that's suitable.
All right. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So again, hang on.
So you've said that I'm not ready to go. Why is that a problem?
Yeah. So what are the consequences of you delaying setting off from a junction?
Well,
Let's think if
safer,
we've
I suppose.
Well, let's think if we've got traffic sitting behind it,
All right.
or if you were sitting behind you at the junction, at that junction, you can see it to be clear.
Yeah.
How would you feel sitting behind you? What would you be asking yourself?
Well, maybe wondering why it not gone.
Yeah. So
Right.
you're holding up other traffic, you're impeding other traffic.
Right.
So that's classed as not making progress.
Right.
Does that? Now that's a perfect example of inappropriate speed.
I was just going to say, he was making progress.
Yeah, totally wrong progress.
Mm.
Can you hear that?
Oh, yeah.
And what do you think's happening there? He's probably going round a corner.
Oh, there's somebody beeping at him.
Where do you think his positioning is?
Mm.
Yeah.
So, am I aware the fault's committed? We were hesitant there. Oh, was it? Do we know why? Or are we aware why it's a problem? So you're talking to me about the people behind.
Yeah.
Do we know why it's happening?
It's happening because you haven't got the car set up prepared
All right.
on the approach to the junction. So I've probably done that slightly the wrong order, haven't I?
Didn't really bad.
Yeah.
But that's fine.
Yeah.
Running down it this way, I think, logically will lead you to where you need to be.
Yeah.
So we were a bit slow coming out there. Oh, were we? Yeah. We could have gone. As soon as that car had gone there, we should have been away. It took us a little while to do it. Oh, did it? All right. Do we know why that's a problem? Well, I'll be all right. I'm still safe. Yeah, but what if there's a car behind, like you've done? You know, do you think they might get frustrated? What if that led them into trying to overtake you at the junction? That would be a bit dangerous, wouldn't it? Oh, yeah. So our actions would have caused that, wouldn't it? Oh, I see. So, do we know why it's happening? I'm not really sure. Well, it's because you're not ready to go as the opportunity presents itself. Oh, how do you think you might do that differently? I'm not sure. Well, okay, as you see the car coming, you know there's a gap behind. Get the car ready to move so that as soon as the opportunity presents itself, you're off. All right, okay. So the next time you come to it, say, okay, there's a gap behind this car. Let's get ready now. Okay, and we can go now. There you go. See how much. Oh, right. That's, and then, okay, then eventually do it on the own.
Do it on their own.
Try it with the other one. I'm too slow.
Okay. So as we came up this road here,
Oh, yeah.
and we got the cars parked either side,
Yeah.
and we were a bit too slow on there.
Oh, were we?
Yeah.
Oh.
Which can sometimes be as problematic as going too fast.
Oh.
Again, if we had a vehicle behind us following at such a slow speed,
Yeah.
do you think that could have an impact on what's going through his mind, what actions he might take?
I don't know. I'm not sure, really.
Well, put yourself in his shoes,
Yeah.
and you're following up that road, and he's really crawling along. What's potentially going to happen?
Well, I'd be quite happy because everybody'd be safe then, wouldn't they? I mean, you don't want to be running kiddies over, so we've got to go like really slow. Want to keep the kids safe.
Were any children about?
Now, it might be in some at school holidays, isn't it? So I figured going slow is probably better. And if I've slowed him down behind, that's probably better for him too, isn't it, really?
It's a fine line to... I'm going down the wrong track here.
No, go on.
There's a
Scratch the surface.
There's a fine line to taking care and going too slow. Because at that point, it's as we said about the coming off the roundabout, the person behind, what's going to start happening with him? How's he going to feel?
Well, I mean, but that's on him, isn't it? He should watch what he's doing. He should be thinking about the kids, keeping them safe.
But maybe he's not as safe a driver as you are, but by going too slow, it may cause him to do something else.
Yeah, but that's his fault, isn't it?
Well, it could be down to you. Because of going so slow, he may want to try and overtake.
Well, he's very silly then, isn't he? He shouldn't do that.
We've got to account for that.
Oh.
So what we don't want to do is put you in a position where you're causing someone else to take an action. So by going too slow, he may want to get past you. So we've got to think about the what ifs.
Oh.
Right, just start to roll.
So what you're saying to me is that by driving so slow and trying to keep people safe and being overly slow, I might have an idiot behind me, and some of my actions might have caused him to be even more stupid, and I have therefore put the children more at risk. Is that what you're saying?
In a roundabout way, yeah.
You're on the right line.
I'm trying to justify this because part of me thinks, well, no, you drive slow, so how do you tell someone just to almost speed up in an area where you want them to drive
It's tricky, isn't
with
it?
due care and attention?
Say, look, yes, you do need to be careful. You're quite right, and that's very public-spirited of you. And we all want to keep the children safe. But consider this: you're now going too slow. And by being too slow, you might encourage somebody who is less sensible than you to overtake in those circumstances. Now, how safe are the children? Yeah, but that's on him. Yes, you're quite right. It's his fault. He made the decision. However, we've contributed to that, haven't we? Oh, I've not thought of that. So, you know, we want to be sensible and we want to be safe, but we don't want to be at a snail's pace. You want to travel at the speed that's right for the... Oh, right, okay, I see what you... And these are the buy-in phrases. Oh, I see what you're saying. He's like, all right, okay, got it. So, how can we do this? So, and on you go. Now, that's a very tricky one, because you don't want to be saying to somebody, just hurry up. I know the situation's unsafe, but get on with it, man.
Yeah, because that's the bit, because it's... And if you go back to what we tried earlier, and if I was going up the road, I would be saying, look, we've got cars parked, whatever, and yeah, children could be on holiday, and somebody could come out. But at the moment, we can only see what's seen. But we use a speed that's sensible. Should we need to, we can stop in the distance and see to be clear.
And this is way too slow.
But then they could count that. Oh, well, I can see it's clear to the end of the street. Yeah. Even though someone might just jump out of this gateway here.
He wouldn't do that and then put you in an unsafe position. What he wants to do is to get you to see.
No, it's how you put that to...
Oh,
sorry, I put that to the... Because you want them to drive safely. And it's just how things that line to sort of, right, we make progress. But do you then flip it on its head and say, well, if it were me driving here, I would consider that this is suitable. We're scanning all the time for what we can see, and if we're unsure, we can ease off a little bit, and we pick the speed up a bit.
I mean, it's a very common one. They'll drive at 30 in a 60. Oh, I feel safe. I feel safe at this speed. Yeah, you might feel safe, but look what's happening behind you. What if this guy decides to take a dodgy overtake, and he hits the car coming the other way? Well, that'll be on him. All right, and what about if he hits the car coming the other way, and it spins him, and he hits us? Oh, well, that'd be his fault. You're quite right, it would. However, our actions have contributed to that happening. So therefore we made it...
What's he saying?
It's John Durant. That's Ernie's business.
All right.
I just realised we're pulling up outside their house. I'm coming from a different angle. So it's really just getting them to see that, look, okay, you're quite right, but we need to balance it. And his reasoning will be, I want to keep the kids safe, or it'll be like, oh, I feel safe at this. I've seen that advert, kill your speed, kill a child, don't kill a child, or all that. Or if he's driving too fast, he says, all right, I'm in my mate's car, he drives like this all the time, he's never had an accident. So this is just too quick. They tend not to go the too quick one too much because there's a risk involved in that.
Yeah.
But it's nearly always just trundling around. And of course, if you think about the drive from there, I started off slow and I've just got slower and slower and slower and slower. And he'll do the same until you do something. And he's the final bit, I mean, it was ludicrously slow.
Yeah.
And that's just to get you to say, hey, come on. So the faults won't be subtle. They're not going to sneak them in. It's going to be wallop. And there'll be no mistake in it. And you've just got to, if you run down this, are we aware that that's a problem? It's enough for you to say, well, yeah, it is. Are we aware why that's a problem? What are the potential consequences here? So do we know, these two might be part of the same. You might skip one of them out.
Yeah.
But are we aware that it is a problem? Are we aware why that's a problem? Are we aware what we need to do to fix it? And then, of course, what level of help do you want from me? Blah, blah, blah. Does that sort of make sense? This seems to help to just focus the pattern. Because when you do all the parts of it, you can do it well. But occasionally we're missing the odd one of these out. So I think if we have that, miniaturise it or whatever we'll do.
But it was interesting that just to sort of define what's slow and what's too slow in an area that does need real caution.
It won't be borderline. It will be ridiculously slow like I just did it. Like, just say, you're kidding, right? Not this slow. I could have done comfortably 3 times the speed I was doing. Perhaps 4. Yes, it was tight, but it wasn't that bad. And there was a point there where it was struggling in second, so I had to take it down to first. I was travelling so slow.
Yeah.
That's just way too much. Unfortunately, there was nobody behind us. And you've seen the speed that some of the people were in here. Right? Can you imagine having somebody like that behind you in that situation? They take the first opportunity and shoot through.
Yeah.
Bit more?
Okay.
I'll leave that with you on your lap. Back and roll. Left at the end of the road.
Okay. At the end of this road, Dave, we'll turn left, please. Think about your positioning and cracking. So, okay, just
Left at the end of the
well, left at the end of the road, please, Dave. Okay, so think about what we've talked about just now. So let's watch where this van's going, and if we can, we'll prepare the car. That's it. We'll clear behind, and let's get on our way. That's it. Follow him out. That's much better. Okay. We're looking down the road. Yes, we've got cars on the offside, one on our side. We can pick up a little bit of speed. Don't go too slow. Okay, just a little bit faster than that, Dave. Why are you holding back?
Just trying to just be careful.
Yep, one thing being careful. Now we've got nothing behind us at the moment, but if we had, they'd be starting to get a bit frustrated, wouldn't they? So you can just pick the speed up a little bit. The main thing is just keep our observation so we can look down the sides of the vehicle, see what's coming, use that to help you. And that'll allow us to build up a bit of speed. So still a little bit too slow, Dave.
Right. We had all force the issue.
Yeah. I'm just conscious here that I don't want to say, right, speed up.
Yeah, but this is still...
No.
Yeah. So what you've said to me is, I'll just put it here. What you've said to me is, come on, faster, a bit more, and I've got a bit more. I've added a half a mile an hour.
Yeah.
And then when you've pushed, I've added another half and another half and another half. No. Come on, get on with it. Bit more, faster. You look at it and say, right, come on, 15 mile an hour will be fine here. Get up to that speed.
Yeah.
Go on, go now, go. Oh. And of course, you've got a speedo here so you can see what speed he's doing.
Yeah.
So you look at that, I took it up
Keep forgetting about that.
1 mile an hour at a time. You want me on, so you've got to force, no, faster. Otherwise, you'll just go, oh. And it's gradually, but really slowly getting better. So sometimes you've got to force it and say, no, come on, more. Get on with it. No, faster. More.
I considered it then. I just thought, well, if I say more, you're going to floor it.
No. he's got so much. You see, you can't do that. In raw, I have been ridiculously slow. I can't then get ridiculously fast. You're not allowed. That's not fair.
Yeah.
So he will resist, and you're going to have to work like a dog to get 5 mile an hour out of him, and you want 15.
Yeah.
So you've got to work really hard, make it happen. No. Look, when I say more, come on, I'm talking about more. If needs be, when you pull the, you say, look, would you like me to give you a demonstration? He'll refuse it. But he can see then that you're wanting to force the issue, but just say no, more than that. Because what he'll do is, if he's doing the 30 and a 60, when you say faster, he'll go up to 32, 33, 35, 40. And you say, no, look, come on, I want us to be doing 60 here. That's it. More gas, more. It's the same as if he's coming into something too quick. Brake. And if you need to, put the brake on at your side.
Yeah.
So you've really got to force the issue sometimes.
So you wouldn't necessarily just say, right, well, let's add 5 miles to it. Let's add another 5 miles to it.
Yeah,
you
that's
just say, right, go till I say stop.
Well,
because potentially he's got a problem with the speed in his mind, hasn't he? So you don't want to say, let's get straight to 60, because you're going to want to feel how it is, isn't it?
This is not a learner driver. He wants to see that you're going to take action.
Right.
So, no, come on, faster, more. That's it. Oh, I don't feel comfortable. Never mind, come on, you're safe. I'm telling you, come on, more. Then once you've made it happen, you go, oh, actually, now that I'm at this speed, it doesn't feel that fast.
Yeah.
So, where there you're saying, come on, it can become, you're thinking, oh, no more than that. Then don't sit and be frustrated and say, no, that's not fast enough. More. We can clearly go quicker than this. Come on, a bit more. This is about the right speed. And get the car to the speed that you would be comfortable with. Yeah. Because remember, it's not a learner driver. He isn't going to collapse into a heap and run into the back of the next car. So you really got to make it happen. Not in increments. Now, do it. But not quite maybe that firm. So let's have another little go at that.
Floor it. Yeah. Okay.
Gun it. Bag it roll. Left at the end of the road.
Okay, turn left at the end of the road, please, Dave. Okay, so what we're going to consider here, just before we come out.
Oh, there's some parked cars.
Okay. Okay, we could have gone a bit earlier on that one.
Alright.
In Okay. So think about your position now. We're going to go straight ahead at this junction. So where are you going to position the car? Tell me what you're thinking.
Oh, it's like staggered, isn't it?
Yeah. So where do you
I
want
will need to be to the right this time.
More to the left. And
To the
straight
left.
over.
Oh.
Okay, go. We're clear. Clear. Don't be hesitant. Okay. That's it. Now get your position and get your speed on, because you don't be sitting in the middle causing an obstruction. We've got one coming up behind now, so pick your speed up. Pick it up. Pick it up. We're clear in front. That's it. More speed. More speed. More speed. More speed. That's better. That's better. Okay. Think about what's around the corner. Consider it. Don't lift off too much. You've still got good vision at this point. We've got to, okay, so now we ease off. Down into a lower gear, Dave.
At the roundabout, we'll follow the road ahead, the second exit.
Okay, at the roundabout, Dave, we're going to take the second exit. We're going straight ahead. Sorry, second exit. Okay, so we've got the car prepared. Good. Okay. Let's see. Okay. That was it. And off we go. That's it. Oh, we could have gone there. So watch what's happening. We've got a couple coming in now. Got a nice gap behind the grey one, so go. Oh, he's changed his mind. Okay. Well spotted, well held back. That was good. Now, can you see the danger of that guy doing those sort of speeds around here?
Oh, yeah.
He was going too fast.
Oh, right.
Okay. He couldn't have reacted had you pulled out. Okay, so it's a little bit wider road now, so we can build the speed up. Build your speed up. Get your speed up. More. 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 Okay, now consider your position. Got view. Okay, behind. That's a nice speed, just getting around that.
Feels a bit quick.
No, that's fine. You're doing your checks into the junctions. You can see there's nothing coming at the moment. As it opens up, right, we've got a car to the left, nothing coming towards us. Consider the position. Open the distance, we've got the red car, so we need to hold back, just take a position, just ease right off, down into second. Okay, back out on an overtake. I have nothing coming towards us, so we can just keep this position. Okay, now keep your speed up. That was a fine speed you're doing before. Now I've just noticed the guy get into the van. See, now he's getting ready to set off, so we consider him. He's stationary at the minute, we're fine.
Left of the roundabout.
Okay. At the roundabout, go left please, Dave. So, early braking. Okay. And just watch what the doors are. Prepare the car. Okay, and be prepared to go. Go, we're clear, look into the road, we're clear. Gotta get away much quicker than that, please, Dave. Don't waste your opportunities.
Now we'll pull up on the left.
Pull up on the left, please, Dave.
How was that? Errol.
Better, I think.
So you're at me all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. It's constant. You're making stuff happen. So once you've got it to happen, it's then a case of pulling over and saying, okay, how was that then? Oh, would have felt a bit quick. Well, no, that was perfectly safe. In fact, we could have probably gone a little bit quicker, but we're getting used to it now. Oh, right. Or he might say, oh, yeah, if he feels you've done a good job, yeah, I'm starting to get used to it a little bit. But you're never going to cure him in one session, and you're constantly going to have to be at him. And again, you're in early now. Come on, right, there's the gap now. Come on, let's go. Watch for... I'm still managing to get a little bit of hesitancy in. Why do you think that is? Even though you're on top of me, I'm still managing to get a little bit of hesitancy going.
Possibly your observation, you're not looking into the roundabout early enough.
No, it's fine, because you're telling me to go now. But I'm waiting until you tell me to go before I find the bite. So I'm managing to create an extra delay. Even though I'm doing my best to do what you're telling me, I've still created a delay.
Because I thought I said as we come up, there's a gap coming, prepare the car.
Yeah.
Instead of prepare to go, if you like.
Yeah. So I've prepared the car. I've got in the first handbrake. Yep, I'm prepared. Right, you can go. Okay, set the gas. Find the bait.
Yeah.
That's perhaps a little bit cheeky. But you can
no, but it's a terminology, isn't it? Because you say prepare the car. I don't know what you asked me.
Okay, let's get ready to go.
Yes.
Oh, get on find the bait. Right, now go. All right, bang, and we're out. All right. You see how much quicker you can get? All right, okay, I see what you're saying. So it is really about, run round that little loop, but then, of course, the hard bit is you're now going to make it happen. Which is why I put that one in red at the bottom. Stop it happening. Whatever it was, stop that happening. By whatever means, and that may well be chiming away like you did. More. No, that's not enough. More. Come on. Move. Come on, a bit more. More. That's it. This feels a bit quick. No, this is right. Let's just run at this speed and get used to it. Or he might give you 5 or 6 miles an hour and go, oh, it feels fast. Well, let's just get used to this pace first. That's a little, okay. Now that you're used to that, let's put a little bit more on. So he's seeing from this seat that you are moving them in the right direction. You're doing the right sort of things.
And what about as we came up there where the van was?
Clearly I had to hang by there, but you were in early. And again, okay, ease off now. Because what I was planning on doing was going up there and then killing the speed as I got to him. And I mean killing the speed back down to 4 miles an hour again.
Yeah.
But you prevented it happening by being on me straight away. Right, here's the situation here. So, like you said before, you're driving the car from that seat, almost with me blindfolded. So once you've made it happen that way, that's the job just about done. All there is then is to just try, if you can, get him to do it on his own. If you manage to do all of that, and he didn't do it on his own, all is not lost, because you've still ticked the boxes. You've spotted the fault, you've analysed it, and you've put in place some remedial action, albeit it was preventative, but you've still made that happen. It's ideal if you can get it preventative and then the remedial happens from this seat, but if it doesn't, I wouldn't lose too much sleep over it, because you've still got a solid set then.
And again, I suppose it comes back to how much time is left to physically do that. But hopefully you can get it all in.
Yeah. You haven't got a lot of time, and he hasn't got a lot of time to commit a lot of faults. It's over. And before you know where you're at, you're back at the test centre. And it's like, oh my God, was that an hour? Unless you're sat in the back of the car, in which case it takes forever. You're sat there thinking, you didn't do that on training. Why are you doing that? Can you not see what he's doing there? What about this? Pick up on his mirror checks.
Because you're going to be sat there, aren't you?
Well, that's entirely your call. And you make that decision on the day, because you might change your mind by the time we get there. I'm there to go with you if you want. Or I can hang back in the waiting room. It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
There's pluses and minuses either way. The plus is you've got the moral support, I suppose. The minus is that you might feel like there's a bit extra pressure.
Yeah, it's.
So
on the part two, I felt to a certain degree had enough to worry about one person sitting
that's
there.
Right. So I'm in the same. You're probably going to feel the same when it gets to part 3, and that's okay. It doesn't matter. It's your call. If you feel it's going to be useful, I can be there for the debrief no matter what.
Because I'll probably thinking, what's Bob thinking now?
Don't look at him in the mirror.
That's not what I told you.
It's hard. You'll see this when you sit in the back where you learn the drivers. You sit there sometimes thinking, oh, why have you done that? What did you do that for? Why you don't normally do that? Or you think, oh, that's interesting. Where's that come from? Well, you must have dreamt about that. We've never done that on training. So there's pluses and minuses either way. But no matter what happens, I'll jump in the back for the debrief.
Yeah.
Where he comes and he tells it, and we're blessed here that Dave's really good and does give excellent feedback, in possibly more detail than is required by his job role, but he clearly cares about what's happening, which is nice.
Yeah, that's good.
So does that help you to see where you need to be?
I think that's going to help me on. Okay. I'll play around with that over the weekend.
Yeah, and if you want copies of it, we want to miniaturise it. We can do all manner of things.
Yeah.
If we just have a little laminated card and stick it on the dashboard with some blue tack, doesn't really matter.
It's just the point, isn't it? Saying, right, you cool that one, what about this bit? Yeah.
It's just a visual representation of what we're trying to do, because I think it'll help, because there's occasions where you're missing the odd part out.
And it's like I say, there's sometimes an overlap. You think, well, have you considered this? Well, I thought I talked about it in that bit.
Yeah, I mean, you might talk about the ball in one, but it's just making sure that you've ticked all of those boxes.
Because I just look at it and think, talked about that, but what have I missed?
Yeah, no, it's sometimes they do sort of link in, but
Yeah.
it'll just help to make sure that you're going around that loop. I might look at it as a loop as well.
Yeah.
Um,
No, that
Cup of
makes
tea.
more sense.